In thinking about my fraternity, I have stumbled across uh, crossroads, in a sense. I was reading a book called The Warren Buffett Way, written by Robert Hagstrom, and in one of the final parts of the book, he describes what is called type 1 thinking and type 2 thinking, or something along those lines. Type 1 is the intuitive thinking, the fast, quick paced, whatever's right in front of you thinking, and type 2 is reason, which is the slow, methodical, long term thinking that takes time and reflection to really go through, and effort. And I'm starting to think that the battle that I'm choosing to fight is to try to convince people that they should stay more in type 2 than they should in type 1, which is a hard battle to fight. How do you get somebody to switch the way they approach the world and the way they see things, to completely change their perspective about everything, really? And it's not to say that none of the guys in the fraternity have ever sat in type 2 thinking and really spent time to just go through and think through their problems in life. However, whenever it comes to the fraternity, a lot of the thinking that goes on is very type 1, very much so type 1. And so when I read that, it kind of defined my problem a little bit better. And so now I'm in a position where I can either use that to my advantage. Well, let's say I can either take that and run with it and use the increased knowledge of how to describe the problem to better describe it to other people in the fraternity, or I can use it in a way that allows me to just, now that I see the problem in a new light, I can learn from the new framing that the problem should be approached from a different direction, from a different perspective. Because if I could define the problem to the group, sure, I've sounded smart and I've defined the problem well, and everyone understood where I'm coming from. Great, but what I'm really looking for is results. And in learning about learning about type 1 and type 2 thinking, I was reminded about the effort and the quality and uh what's the word, and the reasons for type 2 thinking. And I feel now that I should approach the issue in a much more methodical, slow, sensitive, nuanced, um, uh, I approach. And I lost my train of thought. And go back to this old way of thinking that I had, where I would approach problems very intensely. I would think about them a lot, and I would spend the effort to think through whatever challenges I faced in life. And instead of trying to brute force it and tackle the problem and describe exactly what's going on and tell people that we need to change and here's what we need to do, here's what we need to do, I think I should slow down, think about my own actions and my own life. Am I stuck in type 1 thinking? Am I choosing to remain ignorant about my own behaviors and my own views, my own ignorant views about things? Because whenever a problem needs to be solved, especially when you're dealing with other people, which you can't control the actions and decisions of, or you can't control the way they think, and you can't control whether or not they even want to listen to you. Because if they don't want to change, then you've already lost the battle. And you're wasting effort in trying. And so the only way to approach it then is to back up a few steps and work on yourself. And then when you do that, you'll be prepared to talk about the issue whenever it arises. You'll seize your moments when they come up. And you won't be so worried about whatever is going on in your day-to-day life. You can step back from the small, insignificant changes or volatility, just like Warren Buffett focus investing. You can take a step back from the market and people's opinions about things, and you can see the picture in its totality and view it at its true value. And when you do that, your emotions aren't dictated by the small fluctuations in the day-to-day health of the fraternity and its men. Because if there is a line of thinking that is flowing through the executive board and the systems and approaches to the organization, eventually those will come through on the back end and will ultimately benefit the members in a positive way. And so that's what I want to focus on. And it'll bring my mind at ease. It'll make me less combative. And really, it's the smart thing to do. It's a smart thing to do. And most importantly, it doesn't take a smart person to be able to do that kind of thing. It does not take a smart person. Intelligent person. Whatever words mean. It just takes effort. It takes work. Because whenever I still want to accomplish a goal, that is improve the culture and the health of the fraternity so that it actually benefits the members, whenever I change my approach, I can't just take my foot off the gas and worrying about it day to day. I have to also turn it up behind the scenes and actually spend the time in thinking about what we can do to make the fraternity better. I need to be observant. I need to be present. I need to be taking the time out of the day. And I need to always keep in mind what the long-term goal is so that I don't get discouraged by short-term results. I don't become malicious, resentful, or greedy in whatever we do. And ultimately, not only will that benefit the relationships with the people that I value in Teague, but it will also benefit other people so they don't have to hear my bullshit all the time. So, yeah, that's it.